terrifying, it's the Cool Kids Club. You should be running, yeah, well, Justin's a monster, and Amy eats worms in the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the
Cool Kids Club.
This is episode 41. I am one half of America's Favorite Siblings, the hosts of this podcast that you're listening to, and my name is Amy. What be your name?
And who be you?
And who be you?
Well, I be Justin.
Oh, okay.
I be Justin.
Okay, hi Justin.
Hi.
Hi.
It's man, it's that time. It's spooky season.
Ooh.
Like we are.
Justin, it is so perfect out today.
Yeah. I hope that wherever you are, the weather has been half as beautiful and perfectly Howl-oween has been where we're at.
Yes. Now, you could be in the southern hemisphere, and maybe it's warm where you are, but I hope it was an equally beautiful day. I
hope you're having a great day.
I just hope wherever you are, you're having a great day.
Well, that's it. That's it for us.
Stay cool.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Say good night, Gracie.
Amy, tell us what we are here to talk about today, because it is spooky season. We are rapidly approaching Halloween.
Rapidly.
We're over halfway through the month already. I mean, it's on us. It's going to be done before we know it.
It's going by really fast. Well, before we
that
talk
Christmas
about
stuff is already hitting the shelves. It's already driving.
And
the
you know
Halloween
what, Justin?
Out.
I gotta be honest. I'm feeling a little bit of a tingle in my jingle. A little.
You're feeling a jingle tingle, is what you're saying.
I'm feeling a little bit of a jingle tingle, and I'm telling myself, Amy, hold off for a few more weeks. Because I am really having a great spooky season this year, watching a lot of movies, doing a lot of spooky things.
We went to Scarowinds, a theme park. If you followed us on social media, it was fun.
Did we post that? We should have posted that on the Cool Kids Club.
The Cool Kids crew. No, we did not.
Oh, well, maybe we should do that. So Carowinds is at an amusement park pretty close to us, a few hours away. And much like Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm sure there's lots of other small theme parks that do
it's a regional amusement park, which is just the best kind of amusement park, frankly. Yeah, I know Disney's great, and Universal, and all those. And you got Six Flags, but I mean the regional one-off little ones. This one is on the border of the Carolinas. And
the Carolinas splits it, and had the entrance
splits it right up the middle.
Just splits it right up the middle.
And and they did
you
their
get to walk
spooky
on
thing.
In both states.
They had all the Halloween stuff out. They had haunted houses that we got to go through.
Well, Justin went through.
Right. But it was a great time. We've had a good spooky season. We got to see the new Halloween movie, despite it being the way it was. But we got to see it at the drive-in. That was fun.
We went and saw it at the drive-in. That was a fun. I have not been to the drive-in, Justin, since we saw The Cable Guy in 1996. That was the last time I had been at a drive-in.
Was that a double feature? Because I remember
with McHale's Navy, I believe so.
With McHale's Navy, shit.
Yeah,
no,
I think so.
I do remember seeing McHale's Navy at the drive-in.
McHale's Navy, I don't know if it was that time. I remember seeing McHale's Navy, yes.
But I also remember Jurassic Park 2, Lost World, and I remember Twister.
See,
I saw Twister at the drive-in.
Yes, we did see Twister. I mean, that's so perfect, right? To see Twister at the drive-in.
Oh, yeah.
It was made to be seen at the drive-in.
Yeah, that's like seeing Jaws, out in a,
in the ocean.
In the ocean, floating on a dinghy in the ocean.
Just as Spielberg intended.
As Mr. Spielberg intended. But we're not here to talk about that.
We're not.
This is...
But we do want to discuss the spooky season. And
we are.
We've been having a great spooky season. And I just want our listeners to share with us, on social media and stuff, what they've been doing. This spooky season. So that's why I want to just put that out there.
A call to action.
A call to action is right. In the spirit of spooky season, of course, we are the Cool Kids Club. right now. Oh man, I introduced us as the Cool Kids Club earlier. What a chump.
Don't worry.
We're actually
we'll fix that in post.
I'll fix that in post.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
cut that,
okay.
cut that,
I mean, I edit it, so I guess I'll just.
Yeah. Just.
It'll be like.
Just edit yourself.
Welcome to the Cool Kids Club. Like.
Cool Kids Club.
It'd be very.
No, that's
natural,
absolutely what
like
you have to do it now.
Yeah. Well, now I'm gonna. Yeah. So we did something last year that we thought was very fun, and we wanted to bring it back. And that is the Howl-oween tape, as sort of a structure for this episode. Now, Justin and I, as we discussed last year when we sort of introduced this as a concept, we had a Howl-oween tape and a Christmas tape, and you all probably had similar things, where our parents had taped several things off of television. All the Halloween-y things on one tape, all the Christmas things on one tape. Had all the old commercials, had, that wonderful VHS, like, buzz, that you just have, like, under everything. And the Halloween and Christmas tapes have been lost
to time.
One to time, and one got eaten by the
to
VCR.
a VCR.
We won't talk about it because it's really upsetting. But it is now the year of our Lord 2022, and you can find pretty much anything. And so Justin was able a few years ago to actually compile all the elements that were once on our Halloween tape.
I don't know if it was everything, but it was a lot of stuff.
It was a lot of stuff.
And
do you want to kind of talk about that? How you did that? And
well, I was just able to. I was able to track down a couple of things that were missing or had been pulled off the internet for copyright reasons. But one of the things we're talking about today is sort of the thing that got that project started, which was kind of recompiling the Halloween tape. Is the Tom and Jerry Halloween special. Is the first thing we're going to talk about today. And this was not only the impetus that I was like, I thought this might be like, once I found this, including the commercials, and I believe we've talked about this last year, but like I was able to find through a friend of mine at the Haunted Drive-In. So was able to find the actual original broadcast that was on the Halloween tape that included the commercials and everything. It was the exact same one.
The exact same commercials in the same order. Crazy.
And the overwhelming, I feel like the overwhelming nostalgia that seeing that again after all these years. And I feel like that almost led to the creation of this podcast. Like that.
It was a nostalgasm to beat all nostalgasms.
Yes, it was heard around the world.
Ew. It's true, and we actually just rewatched this together the other day.
We did rewatch it together with all the commercials, and the commercials are just half the fun. But no, we this is kind of our ode to. I think of the Halloween tape, and we do a Christmas. We'll be doing a Christmas one as well in December. I think of this as kind of our ode to the small screen stuff. Like, we're not going to be talking about movies or toys or anything like that. We're going to be talking about episodes of TV shows, something that would have been on an old VHS tape full of Halloween junk that you recorded off TV. Including commercials. So we'll be hearing from some of our sponsors here in a bit.
Oh, lovely,
yeah! I got us some more sponsors. It's going to be a really impressive lineup.
Oh, great! I'm very excited about that. Very excited because we are losing money on this.
As we have said,
as previously
I am hemorrhaging
stated.
money. Well, let's just.
Let's go ahead and let's jump on in with our first feature.
Amy, tell me about the Tom and Jerry Halloween special. Tell me about as you remembered it, and now that you have watched it as an adult. Now this is you can find this in pieces on YouTube mostly. But this is
with the interludes and everything, or just the cartoons.
Well, so the cartoons, both of the things that we're talking about today, both this the Tom and Jerry Halloween special as well as the Bugs Bunny Halloween special, are essentially cartoon compilations. This one, the Tom and Jerry one, is a little more in the traditional sense of a cartoon compilation, where you have kind of have a wraparound with these hosts, and then you have them presenting cartoons, classic cartoons. In this case, it's Tom and Jerry, Merry Melodies, and we're gonna go through the cartoons they show. But and Bugs Bunny is structured a little differently. But tell But tell me about how you remember this, and how you, now that you've seen it as an adult, like, did it live up to the nostalgia hype for you when you first saw it?
It really, really did. And so I think, prior to watching this as an adult, I just had I didn't really realize in my little kid mind how it was structured. I remembered the cartoons. I remembered these interludes.
Because honestly, the Halloween tape itself,
teenagers,
if you had stuff like this, it was all just one big blur of cartoons and segments and commercials. And I mean, it was very hard to tell, especially being a little kid, where one thing ended. I mean, obviously if there were credits and stuff, I could tell. But sometimes a lot of these cartoons, but I mean,
our Halloween tape had Ernest Goes to Camp on it.
Yes, so. Halloween classic. Not Ernest Scared Stupid.
Nope.
Ernest Goes to Camp.
Clearly, we just started the Halloween tape. It was probably a 6-hour tape, and they're like, "Well, this just has one movie on it." So now this is the Halloween tape.
I'm glad we also covered Ernest Goes to Camp this summer. So I'm glad we've got we're covering all the Halloween tape.
We actually did the whole Halloween. Yeah, we've done the Halloween tape. So that was actually a secret Halloween tape episode.
Right.
There's a little Easter egg, an Easter egg for you all. So I think that I just had these memories of these the little skits that the teenagers did in between. Plus but it's I don't think I realized that it was, that the quote Tom and Jerry Halloween special was this entire thing.
Yeah.
And obviously the cartoons themselves are much older than 1987, which is when this first aired on the TBS, the Superstation. Superstation TBS. They've dropped TBS. That.
You put some respect on Superstation TBS's name. No doubt airing at 8:05.
Oh, it was always on the fives. On the fives. So it started in October.
Night,
actually, just yesterday, Justin. Yesterday was the anniversary of this airing. October the 16th, 1987 was when this first aired. And they aired it every year through 1992.
And yet again, another year passes and no fanfare. And no release. Do you know if some random company picked this up and was able to release it? Although it would have to be Warner Brothers, I imagine, who owns the cartoons. I mean, I would be first in line. I would pre-order it so hard I would sprain my thumb clicking buy.
Would we be the only two people to buy it? Probably not. Because I bet a bunch of our listeners, a lot of weird nerds like us would be in line to buy it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this was actually a spin-off of the Tom and Jerry's Funhouse programming block that they had.
Which I remember.
And this did actually... Yes.
The regular
So like Justin said... The regular one, yeah. So like Justin said, it was it was a cartoon compilation, so you had some Tom and Jerry, you had some other stuff. But what really made this special was not only were all the cartoons, Halloween or just kind of ghostly or scary themed, but you had these two teenagers.
I just want to point out that I heard something behind me, and I turned around, and April was walking into the bathroom. Did not hear her come in. Did not know she was in the house. Assumed I was in the house alone. Turned around and there was just a person there.
Speaking of ghosts.
So.
Jesus.
Yep.
Do you need to go change your
underwear? They're full now. Let's.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
You were wearing a diaper to begin with, I imagine.
Always.
So what really made this special was it was hosted by these two teenagers who were part of the TBS Kids Beat. Do you remember Kids Beat?
Of course I remember Kids Beat.
Kids Beat is brought to you by M&M's, the candy that melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
Kids Beat is just one of those weird little things that I just love so much. It was like a kids news show.
Yeah.
And hosted by kids,
yes.
you know.
Yes.
And
by kids for kids.
By kids for kids.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. And these two kids, Josh Jarboe and Audra Lee, were from Kids Beat. They were hosts on there, I believe.
They had good banter.
God,
on this
special.
special.
I would love to do a Kids Beat episode.
Oh, we will. So rest assured.
You promise?
I promise.
Okay.
So I think what I remember the most were these little interludes with them. So they would tell really bad jokes, and they would be dressed up in like different costumes each time you saw them, and they would do like little history of Halloween things and little like
they're in a dungeon
tips.
with like a vampire coffin. They're like carving pumpkins in a big fancy room.
Yeah, remember the one where he disappears?
Where he disappears?
Yeah.
This is one of those things, and I know that your husband and our friend Jesse can attest, as they were witness to it on this past weekend when we watched it together. This special is burned into my brain.
Yes, same. The cadence
of everyone's voice, how the sounds ebb and flow is, I have it memorized.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like anything, like,
wild.
If you watch The Office, all the time on the radio, the beats, the jokes, it's like that. But it's something that it's like we didn't watch for 25 years, and then you watch it again, and you're like, oh my god,
it's all still there.
It's still there. It's so strange, But yeah, and this really is just it's something.
And
very
the kids
special.
are charming, and
the
they're
kids
goofy,
are very charming,
and the jokes are bad.
Yeah,
and
but they're supposed to be,
Before we get into the cartoons, I would like to interject here for just a second and say that I'm getting the signal that we need to go to commercial.
Oh, okay, great.
So let's hear from a couple of our spooky sponsors.
Ooh.
And the Halloween tape will continue here in just a moment.
Wow, Sting and Sid Vicious battle for the heavyweight title in Halloween Havoc 90. And this year, it's gonna be shocking.
Prepare for Sting, Sid Vicious, Lex Luger, and more.
Ooh, I got a charge out of that. How about you, Sid Vicious?
Sting! Halloween Havoc's gonna be one nightmare you'll never forget.
And neither will you.
Halloween Havoc 90, a live pay-per-view, Saturday, October 27th.
It's Halloween. Frightening rumors have reached the rug.
Someone or something is making trouble.
What could be lurking behind the Nicktoons shadows?
A monster. A monster? A monster. And I think it's after us.
What's really in the garage?
A monster.
Find out in a special Halloween Rugrats tomorrow on Nickelodeon.
Okay, so we've got 6 cartoons in this here Tom and Jerry. Halloween.
Now this here Tom and Jerry.
Now
this you're Thomas and you're Gerald.
Yes. We have 3 Thomas and Gerald cartoons.
Correct.
We have a Looney Tunes.
We do.
We have
a particularly great Looney Tune.
Oh, we're going to talk a lot about it.
A top tier Looney Tune.
It is a top tier tune. A Merry Melodies and a Popeye.
It's good.
I did not.
That was my Popeye impression, by the way.
It was. I liked it. I'm not a huge Popeye fan. Like, I don't remember watching that and enjoying it a ton. Like, as a kid, that show.
I mean, the Popeye cartoon is the weakest of the group here.
I agree. Let me ask you, Which one's the best in your opinion? We're going to talk a little bit about all of them, but I'm just curious.
Well, yeah. I'm going to go, it's either hair-raising hair or Ghost Wanted. Probably hair-raising hair.
Yeah.
And second is Ghost Wanted. Ghost Wanted is delightful. See?
That's Ghost Wanted, isn't it?
Yep.
Ghost Wanted has no dialogue. Correct?
Just us. Yeah, just us over here humming the tune to a silent cartoon from 80 years ago.
This is
we're the cool kids.
It's a cool kids club. Yeah, that's us. And you know what? Y'all are listening, so really, I feel like this is it your fault?
That's really a blaming the victim type of mentality there.
You know what? The people love it. We're America's favorite siblings. You know.
That's what they tell me.
That is what they say. Okay, go ahead and tell us the first one here.
The first cartoon is a Tom and Jerry tune.
Yeah,
a Thomas and Gerald tune.
Well, you've got them sandwiched. You start with a Thomas and Gerald.
You got one in the middle,
and then at the end. Yes,
and then at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is the Flying Sorceress from 1956, and this is the one where Tom answers the wanted ad.
Yeah.
Because he's failing to catch Jerry as he does.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And
as he is wont to do, yes.
As he is wont to do, and his owner's fed up, and he's like, I'm out of here, and he answers a want ad for a witch. Right?
There's your first mistake.
Yeah. Like a witch is looking for a new kind of house cat, you know, like a new witch cat.
Uh-huh, sure. He's not even a black cat, so like why does he think he's going to get this job? Whatever.
So, but he's not really interested in the job. He goes and he checks out her magic broom, and he ends up swiping it and taking it home to beat the ever-loving piss out of Jerry with it.
Yes, it's a good one. It's my favorite of the. I think of the Tom and Jerry's in this special.
Yes, I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course the witch, gets how dare you steal my broom, huh?
Yes.
And then beats the piss out of him with the broom.
Yes.
And just a lot of piss beating.
A lot of. I love the him like bouncing up and down on the broom like towards the end, like just that. God,
then they do the dream fake out where like he wakes up and you think, oh, the whole thing was a dream.
Yeah.
And then the broom starts kicking his ass again.
And you're like, oh shit,
it was real.
It was real. So that's your first Tom and Jerry, and frankly, like I said, I think my favorite. And then you have Ghost Wanted, which is a Merry Melodies cartoon from 1940, and this is about the most adorable tiny little ghost. He also answers
definitely not Casper.
He's definitely not Casper. Nope, definitely not. He does not have a swirly top of his head.
Ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream cone
swirl
head.
Hair.
He's got very soft serve head.
Soft serve head, yes.
Just take a bite right out of it. He also answers a want ad. So first of all, first lesson, stop answering want ads.
Two want ads.
2 want ads right at the top of this special.
2 want ads?
2 ads? He answers the want ad.
That was a big plot device apparently in the 40s.
Well,
and 50s.
I guess that was a really good way to like lure people to your house for shenanigans.
It is.
So,
yes,
I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
It still is. It still is today.
Now we just have Craigslist.
Yep.
It's just the online version. He goes to this house and there's this older ghost who's supposed to be interviewing him, and he's just pranking him and like basically tormenting him.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And beats the piss out of him, kind of.
He does. But
there's like dynamite action, it's one of those.
There's old dynamite down the back of the pants. That old chestnut. It's so good, and the music from it. I'm just going to put a little snippet right here. After Ghost Wanted, what do we have? Another Tom and Jerry.
We're back to Tom and Jerry from 1965. This one's Haunted Mouse. And I love this one, too. This is a good one. It's not particularly spooky. It's about...
it's not.
Jerry's cousin is a magician and comes to visit, and he starts using all kinds of magic to fuck up Tom's life, basically. I guess I particularly love the sequence where we're going through the refrigerator, where they're grocery shopping in the refrigerator. They're walking around like it's a supermarket.
Oh my god!
And, like picking up like a giant like, a radish that's like bigger than the shopping cart.
Is this the one?
I do really like this one, and I like the music a lot in this one too.
The music is good. Is this the one where he ends up inside of Tom, like gets eaten by Tom, or is that the last one?
Well, yeah, he goes inside of. He gets inside of Tom.
Yeah,
he gets inside him, and
Justin, please clarify.
Well, he kind of freezes him with magic, and then he goes into his mouth like
he does. Thank you. Thank you.
That frog creature from Part 8 of Twin Peaks. He goes into his mouth, and then you hear him, like he's going down into a dungeon, like he's going down the steps, and he's opening a door, and it's a great little gag.
It's
and then he frees all the birds that are in his stomach.
Yes, that's what it is.
All the birds come out of his mouth, and then the fish flops out and back into his fishbowl.
We're not going to talk about consent with this, but let's just it's a funny bit, and
well, I'll be honest, there's more problematic things
than just the consent.
Tom and Jerry Halloween special.
Jerry entering Tom. Yes,
he got in him. He got
all up in there.
I like Haunted Mouse. What's up next? Because this is the one that
Justin,
I know
this is the best one.
You are the most psyched to talk about.
I love this one. This is Hair Raising Hair. This is the only Looney Tunes one in the bunch. Yep. And this is a great, like, what is it that they are kind of spoofing? You said you've got kind of like a Peter Lorre looking.
Well, yeah, we've got like a mad scientist who is obviously a caricature of Peter Lorre from, like, the 30s monster movies, and it's kind of like a Mad Love meets Frankenstein type of thing they're doing, where he's the mad scientist and he lures bugs to his big creepy castle
with a sexy rabbit robot.
That's right.
With tig old bitties. Tig old rabbit bitties.
Tig old rabbit bitties.
Guys, we're back to doing episodes before dinner. So
yep, post work, pre dinner. This is what you get.
Good luck parsing through this. So he's lured to this big creepy castle by
Peter Lorre,
a very sexy bunny, and Peter Lorre.
Peter Lorre's sex rabbit lures him to his castle. Where he sicks his monster on bugs.
He has a big monster. Yeah.
This is the first time we ever see Gossamer, because that is the name of this monster.
I don't think I ever knew that. Wasn't paying attention.
Even if you don't know the name Gossamer, if you know Looney Tunes, you've probably seen Gossamer. He's kind of big and rectangular and covered in orange fur.
Yes.
And he's got hands and big eyes.
He has hands with beautiful nails, which we'll talk about in a moment.
Beautiful nails, yes.
Very
well manicured.
Especially
for a monster.
Especially for a monster. He's tearing through flesh with those. I mean, they look great. So one of my favorite bits from this cartoon, and one that I quote all the time, is when Bugs is giving Gossamer a manicure.
Oh, sure.
Sure. And Bugs is like, I bet you meet so many interesting people. I love to meet interesting people. And every time I say the word interesting, which, as you can imagine, it's a pretty common word. I say it a lot. I think interesting, just like Bugs says.
Interesting. He's doing like a hairstyle or a hairdresser.
Like a salon. Yeah, very much so. I bet you meet so many interesting people.
This is a classic Looney Tune. I feel like
it's really good.
This is one of my favorites, and not just because it's a spooky one.
Yeah, it is. It's just really good, really good.
And in the end, of course, Bugs triumphs, and he gets with the sex rabbit.
Yeah. I'm not going to think about that one, but good for him, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got like a big wind up.
I'm not
thing.
I'm not judging, No,
I'm not going to kink shame here on the Cool Kids Club podcast.
I'm just not going to do it. Next up, we have we're on to Papa.
Hey, Papa.
Hey, Papa. We're on to Popeye from 1939, an old one. The oldest one of the bunch.
Yes, it's very old.
Ghosts in the Bunk.
I was wondering if that was a typo.
No, that's not a typo in my notes. That's the name of the episode. It's Ghosts, because he's Popeye. That's how he talks,
Well,
it's good.
that's pretty good.
Remember
that
Pluto,
Popeye movie with Robin Williams?
Did you just besmirch the good goddamn name of the Robin Williams Popeye movie on my cast of pod? To be honest, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so it might be terrible.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
We love Robin Williams, but they weren't all hits. Okay.
Well, anyway. We're certainly not going to besmirch Robin Williams.
Never. So tell us about Ghosts in the Bunk.
Bluto, the big bad guy of Popeye, he lures Popeye and Olive Oyl to an abandoned hotel, and then he just tries to fuck with them with spooky pranks. There's a lot of luring going on, and a lot of pranking and Stooges-esque behavior, slapstick, and
yes. Very stoogey.
Yeah. My favorite bit in this one, though this is, I would say, the weakest of the bunch, is Popeye discovers invisible paint, and he is able to get a brush, and he paints himself invisible, and then Olive Oyl's invisible as well. And then to get it off him, he takes like turpentine basically and just like dumps it on his head,
and that does nothing.
And he ends up punching Olive Oyl in the face accidentally because she's invisible, and he doesn't know it's her.
Spousal abuse.
Oh, and then she gets him.
She does. She sure does get him.
She was an
unfortunate
looking woman. I mean, I guess that was kind of the point, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Just a homely.
Plus, her name is Olive Oyl.
String bean of a woman.
What a terrible.
Poor thing.
Poor thing. You
bless
know what?
Her heart.
She seems nice. Just bless her heart.
She's got a great personality, though.
Yeah, she does.
I mean, she doesn't really seem to have a great personality, if I'm being honest, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't seem that great. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Well, tell us about the last one, the last cartoon of the Tom and Jerry Halloween special.
This
Amy.
one is called Fraidy Cat, and it's from 1942, so the oldest of the Tom and Jerry ones. This is he's listening to one of those old radio dramas. Which I feel like I'm only familiar with the concept of, or first became familiar with the concept of by watching A Christmas Story.
I do, yeah, Christmas Story.
Yeah, well, that was definitely my first, because I mean, by the time we came around, they didn't really do those. But he gets scared. He scares himself listening to a radio drama, and so Jerry decides this is a good time to pull some pranks.
Again with the pranking.
There's so much prankage and luring.
No luring this time because they're in the same house.
They are, but he decides,
as they are cat and mouse.
Yeah. I mean, this is a real cat and mousey one, too.
Oh, very, very much
so. Yes. So Jerry pulls some pranks on him. This one's, it's good, but it's my least favorite of the Tom and Jerry's, I think.
Yeah, well, and then at the end, we kind of ended on a sour note where there is something you couldn't get away with, a racial stereotype.
Oh, yeah.
There's basically a mammy character at the end that you absolutely couldn't get away with today. So it's that kind of ends it on a weird note of like, that was a little dicey there. Very like Gone with the Wind stuff, and it's only there for a minute. They only do it for a minute, but still, it's an okay one, but it's no hair-raising hair. It's no Ghost Wanted.
No, it's no flying sorceress. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Justin, I'm hearing that it is before actually we talk about Bugs Bunny's Howl-oween special. It's actually time to hear from a couple more of our sponsors.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful
sponsors. Let's pay some bills then.
All right, let's do it.
Tonight at 8, 7 Central, it's Halloween Town. Barney Crummel's family can't be normal.
Why?
Because her grandmother's a witch.
Totally.
And she lives in Halloween Town, where it's Halloween all the time.
Halloween is cool.
Well, battling an evil shadow creature is just not normal.
Oh, being normal is vastly overrated.
Find out more about Barney Crummel's family's vastly strange powers.
Powers? What powers?
It's Disney Channel's original movie, Halloween Town. Tonight at 8, 7 Central, only on Disney Channel.
You'll never speak again. At Universal Studios, the Frightmare continues with Halloween Horror Night 7. New terrors to haunt your memory. Starting October 3rd, Halloween Horror Night 7. Only at Universal Studios. You'll never sleep again.
All right, guys, and we are back with Ghoul Kids Club Halloween Tape Volume 2. 2 volumes?
2 volumes?
If we've not convinced you to go watch It's Always Sunny by just constantly making that joke, then I don't know what else.
If anything,
what
we're
else?
probably
What else
driving
can I
people
do?
from doing it.
We probably are. Yeah. They're getting the gist just by listening to our podcast.
Yes.
So yeah, Justin, tell us a little bit about this cartoon block that we're about to talk about, because this is structured a bit differently, like you said.
Yeah. So this is sort of a cartoon compilation, also, but it's not in the way that the Tom and Jerry Halloween special is, where it's hosts presenting cartoons with little interludes.
Yeah.
The Bugs Bunny Howl-oween special first aired on CBS October 26th, 1977.
That is cool,
our mother's
Cool Moms Club, Donna.
Birthday.
That's her birthday.
Now, how old would she have been? Can we say her actual age at the time, or should we say like her stage age?
Her stage. I don't think she would mind us saying.
She'd have been like probably 18, 19.
She'd have been 20 years old.
20. Okay. Well, there you go. This premiered on our mother's 20th birthday.
And I'm sure she stayed home to watch. I'm sure she was like, you know what?
I'm sure she was definitely watching. So the Bugs Bunny Halloween special consists of clips, basically.
Yeah.
Of 9 different cartoons. But a combination of Looney Tunes and Merry Melody theatrical shorts that had been released. The earliest is 1948, and the latest is 1966. But these aren't presented. They're not presented in their entirety. They're kind of chopped up and rearranged.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yes, it is, and they're linked together with new scenes. And then they take some scenes and redub the dialogue.
Yep.
For the purpose of the story, in order to create a coherent news story. And I just want you to see, I know you can't, but I wish you could see the size of the air quotes I'm putting around coherent. Because there is no rhyme or reason to this thing.
It's nonsensical in part.
So obviously it leads to things like the animation is wildly inconsistent because you're splicing together cartoons from multiple decades, and the animation styles have changed so much that you have, and it's even more jarring because you have these new scenes which are animated obviously in the 70s, and they're terrible. They're like the animation is terrible, and it's so jarring.
Yeah.
When a really good cartoon that was made like 20 years before comes out, and you're like, all of a sudden it jumps, the animation really jumps in quality from scene to scene. And then there's things like the characters look different. So, like,
yes.
the story involves Witch Hazel and Bugs, of course. Mm-hmm. And, so it's like Witch Hazel, the looks will change, and it's so confusing because you have a cartoon from this year where Daffy Duck's son is wearing the same costume that Bugs is wearing in another cartoon that they've spliced in. So they're wearing the same costume. It's just very strange. However,
very strange.
Having said all of this, I adore it, and it
same, yeah,
and I adore all of the individual cartoons that are used. And we're gonna kind of go through those a little bit, just kind of what this. It's all, I think, a Frankenstein's monster. That's the perfect analogy, right?
Justin, that is perfect.
This is a Frankenstein's monster of a Halloween special. They cobbled together a bunch of parts and pieces and slapped a coat of paint on it, and it was the Bugs Bunny Halloween special.
It's a
Franken-tune.
Sure.
But
I do want to say, I do want to just a little tidbit, just a little fun fact, if you will. Our cat, Hazel, is named for Witch Hazel in the Bugs Bunny cartoons. And
that's right.
Specifically, Justin is the one that came up with that. So kudos to Justin. When we were adopting our two cats, our other cat, June, is a tabby, and Hazel is a black cat. And June we already had named. We knew she was a June. And we were trying to come up with another one, and we wanted to go with something spooky-ish, but not, not like Salem or even spooky or whatever, like black cat names that are more typical. So we're kind of trying to find like a spooky name that doesn't scream spook, but that we know is. And Justin came up with Hazel from Witch Hazel, which is perfect because it's also an old lady name like June. And it just works great. And it fits her so well. She's such a little Hazel. That anyways, this was a fun fact.
Yeah, that was a great story.
Yeah. Thank you.
Continue. Before we get into the individual pieces that comprise this Frankenstein's monster of a Halloween special, I think we need to hear from our sponsors just one more time.
Okay.
We got a couple more we got to get in, and then
we got to pay for this episode.
We have to somehow. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose my house.
Oh, I just want my kids back.
Something about that face.
Introducing Spooky Goop, horrifying monster makeup you make up at home. Spooky Goop's bubbling lizard lips, bat bones, and toes create a ghoulish goo that makes a monster out of you.
Now that's a face no mother could love.
Spooky Goop, spine-tingling makeup for Halloween or any unearthly occasion.
Oh boy, there should be some wildlife around here.
Surprise!
The McDonald's Happy Meal guys.
Yep, chicken McNuggets.
Regular soft drink.
And regular fries.
And they aren't lying.
What do you put in your McDonald's Halloween pumpkins?
Spookty McBoo, matey. Carrots and McGoblin. Golden McPumpkin, partner.
Now you can collect one of 3 different pumpkins with the purchase of every McDonald's Halloween Pumpkin Happy Meal. What you put in them is up to you.
Okay, so there are this Halloween special's Witch Hazel heavy.
Oh, it's very heavy on the Hazel.
And it actually, so there are only 4 original Witch Hazel Looney Tunes, and all 4 of them, yep, that's it. All 4 of them are spliced into this Halloween special at one point.
God.
So, it includes all 4 of the Witch Hazel, which are Bewitched Bunny from 1954, Broomstick Bunny from 1956, A Witch's Tangled Hair from 1959, and A Haunting We Will Go from 1966. A Haunting We Will Go is probably one of my favorites of those. It's the one with Daffy Duck, and he gets like changed into the creature. She gets Speedy Gonzales comes by, and she like uses a spell to turn him into like an identical clone. So like Speedy's running around as looking like Witch Hazel, doing his Speedy Gonzales thing.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Which is the one where she tries to cook bugs in the pot?
Well, that happens probably a couple times, but definitely
classic Witch Hazel.
Definitely in the first two. Definitely in the first two.
Yes.
So we get there's a lot of Witch Hazel and bugs action going on in this, including which I thought was funny. The last line which is the end of I believe Bewitched Bunny, the first Witch Hazel cartoon.
Okay.
Where Witch Hazel gets turned into a rabbit. Through magic, and Bugs like takes a sip or something of the potion.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, who wants to be alone on Howl-oween anyway?" or something like that.
Yes.
But I learned that was actually redubbed for this Howl-oween special, and was actually redubbed in a lot of that when that cartoon ran, because he actually says something like, "But aren't they all witches on the inside?" And people thought that was like super misogynistic. Like he basically saying like all women are witches on the inside.
Wow.
And even back then there was apparently backlash against it, so they changed the line. And the first time they changed the line was in this Howl-oween special. So,
interesting. So many
and we get Speedy Gonzales,
tidbits.
which I have an impression of that I'll never do because it would probably be offensive.
I was like, for a second, I was like, why? And I was like, oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. I just got to live with it. It's just, it's not appropriate, so it's fine.
It's not.
We get not one, but
not in mixed
two.
company.
Not one, but two Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde parodies. The first of which is Hyde and Hare from 1955, and that's more of a straight up Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde parody.
Yes.
That's the one I remember the most. And the other one is Hide and Go Tweet with Sylvester and Tweety.
Yeah.
Where Tweety becomes the big giant Hyde monster.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I know them, but not by their names. So as you're describing them, I'm like, oh, right, that one. Okay. Yeah.
We also have
it's a good one.
Personal favorites, two cartoons featuring Porky and Sylvester and the exact same plot. Both scenes from both of which get spliced into the Frankenstein monster that is Bugs Bunny's Howl-oween special, which are Scaredy Cat from 1948 and Claws for Alarm from 1954. These are basically, the plot is Sylvester is Porky's cat, and they are in some terrifying situation, and Porky is completely oblivious to the fear and the torment that his cat's going through. The first one of which, Scaredy Cat, is at a house, and then the second is at in kind of a ghost town, where they arrive in this ghost town. There's no one around, and they stay at like a hotel, an abandoned hotel.
Which one is the one where he's sleeping outside and he doesn't realize it?
That's that hotel one.
The hotel one, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And you have
and he wakes up and he's like way up high.
The murderous cult of mice that come and are wearing hoods and chanting and and coming for his head, and these are great, and the animation on these are particularly
the colors.
These are very clearly from a much better age of Warner Brothers animation than the stuff we're seeing around it that was made in the 70s.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just really cool to look at. I could just look at those landscapes,
kind of proof that,
backgrounds all day.
Just because we've gotten, I mean, not that we've obviously done amazing things with animation and stuff like that, but it's I look at stuff from that time period and I'm just like, this is more aesthetically pleasing to me than something modern. This has more charm, and I don't think it's just because it's old. It's just this is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And seems more artistic to me, but maybe that's just because I'm so used to seeing modern animation.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, I think there's something to that. I think it's seeing something that was drawn by hand was as opposed, and that's not to take anything away from computer animation. That's art, and that's work, and but I don't know. I think there's something to that. It's very analog, you know.
It is, yeah.
It feels analog and it feels cozy. I think, you know.
Yeah, there is just something about that it's just, and again, I think we've gotten so used to seeing computer animated things all the time that even like going back and seeing something from like the 90s, you know, the animation it's like it just has a different feel to it.
Yeah.
And this definitely does. Like, you know, not last summer, but earlier this year, before I went to Disney World, I was kind of like watching some of the older animated Disney movies, kind of like getting excited. Some I've seen, some I've not, and watching like 101 Dalmatians and like Aristocats and stuff from like the 60s. It's just like, oh man, this animation, these colors, like it does something. Like
look at them colors.
Yeah, it's just a different thing altogether, and
it hits different.
Definitely, it does hit different.
As
and
the
those
kids
old
say.
Looney Tunes are the same.
Oh, big time!
It slaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's one more. There's one more cartoon that was kind of spliced together.
Oh, and we're ending on a high note with this one because it's Transylvania 65000 from 1963, which is the great one where Bugs is in the castle using magic spells and stuff to fuck with a vampire that's trying to hunt him down in the castle.
It's very good.
Magic books and potions. This is one that I've got a lot of the lines memorized.
Yes.
And you know, he's turning the vampire into all kinds of different things. Newport News. See,
man,
this is quality podcasting.
This is making up for the lack of Speedy Gonzales impression. This is good. This is a good podcast. We have sang songs from the 1940s.
Yes.
We are doing Bugs Bunny impressions. It's a good podcast. And I like it.
And here we are at the end of another
one. So I hope that you all enjoyed this little stroll down memory lane, as we always do, to the Halloween tape of our youth, and let us know if you all also have a Halloween tape or just like remember things like this being taped off television. Did you watch the Tom and Jerry Halloween special? Now, I will say, Justin, a lot of the Looney Tunes cartoons, if not all of them that we talked about, are on HBO now, aren't they?
Yeah,
There's
pretty much.
A lot of them.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny's. Well, the Howl-oween special itself is available.
Yes,
I have it on DVD. The individual cartoons I think are available streaming on HBO, and I'm sure that there have been lots of releases, various collections of cartoons that those are all available on. Now the cartoons themselves, I think, as I said earlier, for the Tom and Jerry special, have been released in various collections and things.
Yeah,
but the special itself has never been released.
Yes,
in any form.
Interludes, yeah.
So, but I got it.
And that is the purest way.
And it's got TBS commercials from 1991 in it. So
Superstation TBS.
Oh, it's the Superstation.
It's the Superstation, Justin. It's the Superstation.
Shit.
We talked to
I admonished you for that earlier.
We talked about this a bit at the beginning, but the Halloween tape and just kind of like what it means for us, and even I can remember as in middle school and into high school, we would watch the Halloween and Christmas. We had nostalgia already for those things of our youth.
We watched that stuff, well into kind of
which is how the VCR
years and really until they went away, and then VCRs weren't really a thing anymore. And we lost the one tape, and and I vowed never to even try with the Halloween one, and now we can't find it. So, but Justin and I have always obviously had this love for nostalgia, because even at that age we had nostalgia for 10 years prior when these things were recorded. I'm never living in the moment.
No. And I'm really never.
I'm always wishing
it
was 20 years ago.
Correct.
Which was hard to do before I was 20.
It's very true.
But
so you had to just wish it was 10.
Yet I managed.
You're like, okay, I'm 17. Well, I wish I was 6. Because remember that Big Mix commercial, things like that. Well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. We have so many more things to talk about with the Halloween tape. So years to come, we will have episodes of our Halloween tape and our Christmas tape, presumably, for as long as we decide to do this here podcast. And speaking of this here podcast, where can you find us, Justin?
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Cool Kids Club Pod. Come hang out with us. We love hearing from you guys. And
we do.
There's a lot of great folks we interact with and are friends with over there. Cool little community going on. Yeah. You can also find us on Facebook. I apologize if I am not as responsive on Facebook. I'm rarely on there, but you can search for us on there. Cool Kids Club Podcast. Just search for that. And then if you want to, where can you find us, Amy?
Individually, you can find us individually. Well, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at AmyReadsTN. And you can find Justin on Instagram and Twitter at LousyWithGhosts. You can also find the last 40 episodes of this podcast wherever you found this episode. They're all up. Apple Podcasts,
and this is it. This is it for Halloween 2022.
This is next time you hear from us, we will just be the Cool Kids Club again.
Just the basic ass Cool Kids.
For a brief period of time. Briefly. We have one more transformation up our sleeve.
We're like Madonna.
Yes.
We're always reinventing ourselves.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, it's the same thing we did last year.
I'm going to get giant ass implants next time you see me. Just like Madonna. I mean,
let's not forget to thank Brian Wakefield for our wonderful spooky theme song. Just wanted to throw that out there. So don't let me forget to do that.
Are you not doing it right now?
Oh, okay. Well, good. Then that's
I was like, aren't we ending the episode? Thanks.
I know.
Brian.
It was a bit. I was messing with you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I thought.
I hope that you guys have a fantastic Halloween season. I hope your Halloween itself is wonderful. Happy Halloween. Enjoy the season, and we will see you all in November for turkey. Right? For turkey time. Right after my candy coma.
Until next time, guys, I want you to stay cool.
And I want you to stay ghoul.
Oh, and spooky.
Ooh. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Good God, we're a mess.